That's what's going on down on the field.
And they're going to do the rest of this game, the fourth quarter, with only 6 officials. And that's an easy call right there, I think, for any official.
Yes. Jalen Coker on the touchdown reception, the undrafted rookie out of Holy Cross for 36 yards.
Right at the top. See working there against Chiron. And just gets around. It's perfect throw, perfect catch.
Plummer to Coker, and the Panthers are lining up to go for 2.
Yeah, they'll try to go up by 14. Wait, public math, 13.
No, 14.
14, that's right, 14. 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points. I got you. Yeah, thanks, public math. Something like that.
Which I guess.
That's what the math is for.
Yes, but in the preseason, it's A, the preseason, and B, there's no overtime in the preseason.
That's right. But you do it for the game management and to see short yardage instead of field goals or extra points.
Plummer keeping the play alive, and now we'll just throw it off the upright.
Well,
Carolina gets in the end zone, and early in the fourth, it's a 31-19 Panthers advantage. Here, early fourth quarter, with Carolina leading 31-19. Of grandkids back at the Tasker house who are watching as well on Kids Day. We'll say hi to them.
It's a little too much to ask to have the Bills organization put up with that many.
Not enough seats here.
Yes, that's right. Well, it's not enough security, I would think, either. They're a wrecking crew.
Isabella and Hardy are the deep men for Buffalo, and it'll be Hardy who downs it in the end zone. Time now for our Wegmans Spotlight. Wegmans Meals to Go, delicious meals delivered. Download our app today. And how about the day for Frank Gore Jr.?
Really ran well, averaged 6.5 yards per carry, a long of 17. He got into the end zone on a really tough, hard-nosed run, but you knew he was going to be. And
here he goes again as he's trying to go over 100 yards rushing on the day, but Kenny Dyson makes the tackle. Frank Gore Jr. rushed for 4,000 yards in his career at Southern Mississippi. That's the 3rd most in school history. Last year, over 1,100 on the ground to go along with 10 touchdowns, and that included a 247-yard day against Appalachian State. And having a joke with James Cook. He's the only running back available right now, I think.
James Cook telling me, you look tired.
Yeah. Easy for James Cook to say that. Brown completes it to Davidson. And he's tackled a couple of yards shy of the first down. And so Sean McDermott telling us that he would have loved to have played the starters in this game, but with all the injuries, the Bills just did not want to take any chances, and so that's why you're not seeing Cook, you're not seeing Ray Davis, you haven't really seen Ty Johnson other than on some kick returns. As Maddie told us, Darrington Evans out with an injury, so there's only one guy left, and it's Frank Gore Jr. He's getting another breather here. They line up Davidson next to Brown on 3rd and 3. Brown over the middle, and it's caught by McKitty, who does a nice job after the catch. Into Carolina territory to the 43.
We have meetings with Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott in the days leading up to the game, and they give us their idea and their philosophy. And I think one of the things when they started signing, Anthony Brown and Ben DiNucci, when the injuries started to take a toll on how they were going to approach these games, it was, I think, the most surprising thing to me about those meetings was Sean McDermott's disappointment that they did not get to play their frontline players in these preseason games as much as they wanted. And I thought that was surprising to me at how disappointed he was that they didn't get any reps or enough reps with those guys. And there's no question about it. They had every intention of playing a lot of their frontline starters, a lot more than they were able to because of the injury bug this preseason. Now, it's not always the case. They don't always want to play their guys a lot, but this year, I think because of the new faces, they had plans to do that. And those plans were thwarted by the fact that they just didn't have enough healthy bodies.
And as both McDermott and Bean pointed out to us yesterday, they were planning to have Josh Allen play last week, but with that rainstorm we had in Pittsburgh, they just did not want to take any chances as Davidson makes a nice catch with one hand. Zach Davidson, who's pushing to make this roster, makes a nice play. A gain of 8.
Davidson, for as big as he is, a 6'7", 250-pound guy playing tight end, and has made some catches like the one you just. The blocking in the running game, special teams, he's not really a contributor. Those parts of his game are not there.
Brown taking a shot down the sideline, incomplete, intended for Demir Bird.
But with the situation on the roster and the things we've been talking about, and Quentin Morris going down with an injury, there might be some space for a guy they need to start the regular season. Zach Davidson might see the door open for him with catches like that.
Davidson a year ago suffered a knee injury in minicamp, so he was on IR all year. The prior season, he spent time on Buffalo's practice squad, so the Bills are familiar with Davidson, and he's had a chance here this summer. Frank Gore Jr., his break time is over as a flag comes in from behind the play. Gore has gone over 100 yards rushing on the day.
We'll get a chance to see our guy, Greg Meyer, make a penalty call. Checking with Carolina to make sure they want to take that penalty, and they obviously would.
Interesting.
I think that's
no microphone, so Kevin Jarvis is called, but he still said the number. He
did
mouthed
say the number,
which is nice.
For you lip readers out there.
Nice for everyone except for Kevin Jarvis.
Bills, yes, his last name is the same name of this team. It's a match made in heaven. Bill says people love to shout, "Let's go Bills," when they see him in public. He says he's had some fun with it too.
Nah, it's just an all-timer, Maddie. Thank you very much. Bills, the undrafted rookie out of Utah. He actually entered Utah as a defensive lineman, switched to left guard when he arrived, and he knows a couple of Bills pretty well. Cole Bishop and Dalton Kincaid were his teammates with the Utes.
Keaton Bills.
A match made in heaven.
There you go. This group out there now, these are, and then see Dalton Kincaid on the sidelines, who's been eating sunflower seeds all afternoon and joined. The one thing you've seen in this team in the preseason, as Anthony Brown takes the snap, is it seems as though the culture that Sean McDermott has cultivated here in Buffalo has made a difference for a lot of the younger players. Certainly, it's been an environment where many players have developed greatly. McDermott told us in training camp on the radio, he never wants to have a player come through this building, meaning One Bills Drive, and play their best football somewhere else. And certainly the environment here has been conducive to a lot of guys doing exactly that.
Let's see what Bass can do on a 51-yard field goal attempt. This would be his longest of the summer. Kick on the way, and it is no good. Drifting off to the right. His first field goal miss during the preseason schedule. He's now 6 out of 7.
Oh, you can't throw it that way? Oh, appreciate it. I'm better throwing upside down, though. Dropping bomb!
Wow, so Reed thinks that he should be in the quarterback battle. You don't look as convinced.
Oh, doesn't everybody think that, though, really, in the back of their mind? Don't we all have a little quarterback in us? I think we do.
9:45 to go in the fourth, and a nice play made in the backfield. And that was Cameron Klein on the tackle for a loss. Meanwhile, down on the sideline, Maddie is with Mac Hollins.
Wide receiver Mac Hollins is joining me now. Mac, you're shoeless. You never wear shoes unless you have to. You eat with your hands, and you've got incredible flow. Your teammates call you a national treasure. How are you a national treasure?
I'm not sure. These are all things that you're kind of born with. You're born eating with your hands, you're born without shoes on, and you're born with your hair long. We ended up ruining it all. So if national treasures are just what we already have, then I guess so.
You have been not wearing shoes for the last several years. For those who don't know the stories, why did you stop wearing those shoes?
I had an injury early in my career, and playing again, I was, on the brink of retiring from not being able to run the way I needed to be able to perform at this level. But met them, and they're all barefoot. Everything they do is barefoot, and they got me back right. So about 3 years ago, because I was the same way as all y'all are with me. Like, why do you have no shoes on? You look like a weirdo. I was like that with them. And, 3 years ago, I was like, what do I need the shoes for? And got rid of them.
Mac, you're in your 8th NFL season, your 5th team. Why do you believe you fit on this offense?
I think I just mesh with the guys a lot. The guys like to compete. The guys like to banter back and forth. But the guys always are working towards the same goal. And so
the wide receiver, it's all about building that chemistry with your quarterback. How have you done so with quarterback Josh Allen?
Yeah, it's been great. Josh is amazing. The talent level that he is, to still be down to earth, to still want to hang out with the guys, to still want to invite the guys over to the house all the time, is incredible. And being able to do that is that chemistry that gets built. Of course, after practice and before practice, that stuff happens, but it's the stuff outside the building, off the field, that really builds chemistry.
Why do you believe you two are going to be a special connection this season?
Because that's my guy, and we got a good foot handshake, and anybody that's cool with a foot handshake is cool with me. And we also get competitive on the chessboard, too, so that brings us closer.
A foot handshake. Tell me about this.
Yeah, I guess it's a foot shake, not a foot handshake. So most of my handshakes are better with my feet, because that's just more me. So, yeah, me and Josh have a good little foot shake, and it gets us ready for every game.
Throughout all of August, you have had a home maintenance series on Instagram where you've been showing your followers how to change the fire alarm, how to clean the faucet. Why did you decide to do that?
Education is big for me, and I know I have a platform, and if my career ends today, then I won't have that same platform that I had today, just because I'm in the NFL, and I want to take advantage of that and be able to educate people as much as I can. So this year I've done a monthly challenge every month. I've done, cold exposure, no social media, doodling every day, and maintenance is the one this month. So being able to show people that home maintenance isn't as hard as it seems, that it can be done. Obviously I have a few that are pretty hard, but there's a lot of things that you can do at your home to make your home better and safer and cleaner that take 5 minutes.
Mac, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to head to commercial break, but we'll be right back here at Highmark Stadium to finish out the 4th quarter.
For where? Although it's easy for me to say.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot to unpack with the interview Maddie did with Mack Hollins. I know a lot of attention is paid to the bare feet, but I actually personally have a bigger problem with him wearing a winter hat in August.
Yeah. When you've got, what do they call it, flow? When you got a head of hair like that, you got to do something, right?
I guess James Cook does as well. Yeah. I guess, I don't have that problem because I don't have a lot of hair.
Yeah, I've never had hair like Mack Hollins, that's for sure.
Well, an interesting guy, but as Maddie pointed, there's a sack for the Bills, and that's Rondell Bothroyd, the undrafted rookie out of Oklahoma.
Got him down with one. I thought they might call him for a horse collar, but what got him gone to the ground? He's going to come right from the top, gets around, nice rush, and that was a one. Well, in the pocket, I guess that's okay. But
do call a timeout.
Yeah.
But let's just finish on Mack, and he's got a very important role in this Buffalo offense this year, Steve.
Yeah, he's been the number 2 wide receiver, or he's been the big body out there for most of the preseason. Certainly, Keon Coleman is a guy who's working into that. Both those guys didn't see any time today, but Mack Hollins, and I'll say this too, he has been the most talked about teammate of any of the new guys or any of the guys at all on the team. He has made a difference for a lot of guys. His presence, his attitude, obviously the fun stuff they do with his bare feet. You go out to walkthroughs and watch these guys practice. There's always about 6 or 8 guys who are now barefoot all the time. It's one of those guys that has been a breath of fresh air for the roster in a year where there were some question marks about where the voices were going to come from in the locker room.
On 4th down and long, the Panthers are not going to get there. Jaden Sheridan on the reception, and a turnover on downs. So Buffalo will get the football back with 5.5 to play. 31-19, Panthers in front.
Of all things, Western.
Yeah,
The preseason.
We always seem to go through this the first few regular season games as well. We have had some spectacularly beautiful weather days for this preseason. Not so much in Pittsburgh, but here in the regular season last year, and looks like this year we're going to have some beautiful days as well to start this season, although a little far out of the forecast to predict it for sure.
It's always dangerous.
I do have 200 days like this on order. I don't know if they'll show up in time.
Okay, let us know. First and 10 technology presented by Toyota, the official car. And that opener is fast approaching. Week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals, and then a quick turnaround week 2 on the road Thursday night in Miami. Brown to Davidson and stacked up immediately.
Davidson having a nice second half of this game here. He's been targeted by Brown. I say this, I've said this before too, with quarterbacks. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of quarterbacks, and they'll all tell you if they get their opportunity, they have a guy that helps them. And it seems like Anthony Brown has found Zach Davidson, and that seems to be his guy. Doesn't mean he's not going to throw it to anybody else, but when push comes to shove, he knows that guy catches it when he throws it.
Anthony Brown signed on Tuesday and has played the entire second half here today. And another completion to Xavier Johnson. And that's going to be good for a Buffalo first down.
Both these quarterbacks, Ben DiNucci and Anthony Brown, it's interesting, Matty told us they work out together. So there is a comfort level. And even between series, when they come out, either one, they'll both sit there and talk to each other, and they can have conversations that other guys in that situation wouldn't be able to have. And it seems as though, they seem to be really comfortable in this offense, and maybe being here together has helped them.
Brown is 9 out of 10 for 69 yards. Frank Gore Jr., another carry, and now he is hobbling. Oh, no. Down on the ground and in some pain, and Sean McDermott comes right out to attend to Frank Gore Jr. That's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah.
Late in the fourth quarter of the last preseason game. You can see his left knee got spun.
Yeah, it got landed on as he went down. It didn't look like it got bent awkwardly, but that never available for this game. And of course, Gore struck this off, and that's part of a professional football player. The injury rate for a regular season on an NFL team is 100%. Everybody gets injured at some point. It's just the way it is. Some of them are very minor, and some of them you never hear about, but every single guy has discomfort that he needs to play with.
Brown dumps this one down. That's Demir Bird with his first catch as a Bill. Some nice spin moves and then shoved out of bounds. The former Carolina Panther picks up 19.
Yeah, Demir Bird did a nice job, and I'll say this too, he got a little something.
Hamler lines up in the backfield and now goes in motion. Brown on the slant to Johnson. And Johnson with a first down. They got a situation here where it looked like the Bills would just be content with handing the ball off and running down the clock, but now they are forced to throw the football, and Anthony Brown's not complaining.
Not at all. That makes him, 12 for 13 now. And now Sean McDermott will take a timeout. Look, for a second there, he called a timeout, and the official looked at him like, seriously? And he said, yes, give me a timeout.
Time to revisit our next star fan poll, in which Bills rookie draft pick will have the biggest impact. And I don't think it's a big surprise, but 70% of the pollsters say Keon Coleman will be that man. What do you say, Mr. Tasker?
I would concur with that. That is as good a projection as any, no question. He is.